Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Elisha Royal. You are watching cEDH Unhinged, and this is our post-tournament deck evaluation and update. This one was a little bit interesting because I woke up this morning and somebody had posted a new deck list on the Urza Discord, and what I popped in to find was that the big guy in our Urza community, Eisen Yachts, had come in with a little bit of feedback, and I've never asked Eisen directly for feedback on my list because I respect him a little bit too much for that. I don't want to waste his time with those kinds of things, but I do find it incredibly interesting when there's a list that is adjacent to mine that he gives his own feedback to organically, and I can kind of like be a fly on the wall and apply that to my own workings. So I don't want to like put Eisen on blast with all of his stuff, but you really should be reading um, any of the feedback that he gives. So I'm looking at the Stormy Robots list, and I'm just going to go over Eisen's feedback. And the guy's list is pretty similar to ours conceptually, right? It runs 35 different cards, but it generates tokens, it storms off. And that's basically what Eisen tells him. So let's go over the feedback. It says, I've seen, this is from Eisen, it says, I've seen many such builds. For example, eRoyal's Magnum Opus list is fairly similar. It is. I'm personally not a huge fan of that Urza variant, but that's probably beside the point. My main input would be that I would find the combination of top deck Storm Enablers and soft mana denial stacks pieces very counterintuitive. I would argue for more coherence. Cut the stacks pieces, cut the slow lands, cut the fringe combos, Helm stuff, add more top draw and deck manipulation like Witching Well, Candy Trail. I'm not familiar with Candy Trail, etc. Add more enablers and cost reducers. And in my opinion, even without Isochron, Urza decks should be on Dramatic Reversal. It's probably the single best ritual effect we have access to, and that's how I view it primarily. Very likely, very valuable feedback for us. Dramatic Reversal, yeah, we cut it. I didn't like it in opening hand. It wasn't relevant until later, but I think it's probably going to go back in because exactly like I said, it's one of the best ritual effects that we have access to. And when you're storming off the top and you put that on the stack, it resets everything. It's pretty nasty. So maybe we don't put the Icecron back in, but we go back to the Dramatic Reversal. We did have that in there as a strategy for a little bit, and I think he's probably right about that. So cut the fringe land or slow lands. So he's probably talking about like scary, Zappers and scary. I really like scary, but it really does suck when you're storming off to be like, okay, my one land that I'm casting with my Magus is a tap land, and I really needed that mana access. So maybe we do cut that one, and we look into City of Traders. Ugh, I hate to say it, I don't want to spend $500 on another card, but City of Traders might be the one. Cool. And then we have the guy responding to it, and he basically just says 35 functional cards different. Yeah, the soft mana denial. So I don't think Winter Orbs, Static Orbs, I don't think we're going to be running those. I agree with Eisen again there that I don't think that those mesh. And then he continues, Eisen does. He says the fringe combo, I mean, is Helm plus the Thopter token generator. Yeah. Slow lands specifically refer to Mystic Sanctuary and to a degree scary. Interesting. Yeah, I agree that Mystic Sanctuary not performing. Have implemented some of the suggestions and then hope they will. Yeah, so I didn't get to see what his deck looked like before he made the update with Eisen's suggestions, and I'm curious to see what it did look like, but at least I got to see it afterwards. So we're going to take a little bit of that feedback into account when we are looking through our own list and making updates right now. And that's all you can do. You can basically just like take the information that I need to find like a place to put this. I got my degree. That's kind of cool. What you do basically is you take all the information that you get from reputable sources, and anytime you find somebody like Eisen that's giving you feedback, you should take that seriously. And then you take your own play experiences and you trust that. It's a meshing of all this stuff, right? But again, anytime top player in the game is like offering perspective, you should incorporate that. So let's look through the binder, right? And I think what we're going to do is we'll be like, okay, these are some cards that really would have come in hand. let's take a peek at the binder, and we're just going to see if anything hops out at us. That's kind of the process. I go over the list, and I'll be like, okay, here are some cards that I'm like, man, I really didn't like that in hand. I really didn't like that. I didn't like that. And what I used to do is I would do that before we start. But here's what I find is a better process. Rather than going through the 100 list of cards that I used in the tournament, being like, this didn't perform, this didn't perform, this didn't perform. What I need to do is wait on that process, look through the binder, and be like, this is the cards that are on the bench that could be in the deck, and then after that, you go back to the deck, and then you reevaluate the slots that you get rid of after that. Because even because there's a pretty good chance that the cards that you identify as not performing didn't perform because it wasn't accentuated by a piece that you are adding. You see what I'm saying? So you need to do the add before you need to find the stuff that you wanted to add before you take stuff away. I did it backwards many times, and I think the coherence drops. And you end up swapping stuff back in, and I always feel like I did it backwards at the end. So I don't know if I explained that very well, but we are going to look through the binder. I'll switch over to the overhead cam. We will find some things in here that need to go in there. We'll find some stuff in there that need to go in here, and then we will put it up on the list, and we'll talk about it. We'll incorporate some of that feedback from Eisen, and then, yeah, if you didn't watch my video on losing, go do that. It's really valuable. It's 45 minutes of me like talking through a literal poem and applying it to cEDH and how to lose with some grace. Been learning to do that. So yeah, go watch that video. I like that one. I don't think there's anything else to say. Let's go hop over to the overhead cam and update this list, get better, and move a little bit forward with this thing. Okay, here we are with the overhead cam. And let's look at a couple of cards that we might consider. And it's weird that these three right at the front all stick out to me as pretty decent cards. This Phyrexian Revoker has been on my mind. I really like the Pithing Needle. I really like the Disruptor Flute. Phyrexian Revoker might just be good enough in that class to make it. Mirrodin Besieged. Did we want to consider playing you? I think we were also going to pull you because we're looking at more of those producers. Snapback, oddly enough, you've been on my mind. Freeze Free. Flare of Denial, also on my mind. Because we usually do have a blue creature, and free is free. And it hits anything. It's kind of cool. I'm looking at Mycosynth. What do we need to make a copy of? Mycosynth Garden becomes a copy of target non-token artifact you control with mana value X. Let's say I'm copying... What do I want to copy? An Ethereum Sculptor? Maybe that comes to mind. Let's pull that. We're just going to pull that. We're going to open up our horizons here on that one. Pheto, don't need you. Don't need you. Chromatic, don't need you. Defiler. That was suggested that I run that by Taylor, who I'm going to be interviewing on the channel soon. He is a certified card-carrying shredder, so should keep that under consideration. Shadow Spear, that used to make the list. Hexproof and Indestructible. Do I run into that a lot? Just with the One Ring. I don't think it's going to make the list. 1/1 Trample Lifelink. Yep. It's not winning games. Thran Dynamo. What you think? Okay, now things get interesting. Sorry, not Thran Dynamo, Thran Turbine. Now things are getting a little interesting. Worldwalker Helm. It's almost worth running by itself in order to get the constructs going, and you can grind via construct. That's cool. Worldwalker Helm might make it. There's a whole bunch of like Helm packages that I could put in as well, but I don't think I'm going to. At the beginning of your end step, untap all non-land permanents you control. So that's, to me, only super relevant if we incorporate a flash package. A greater flash package than the one that we have now. Yep. Leyline's kind of cool. Offer might make it. Offering my own spells, kind of cool. Little pseudo ritual brainstorming. Are we brainstorming? Dramatic reversal, recommended by Eisen, probably makes the cut. Godfarrow, you're too heavy. We tutoring, guys? What do we need? Instant or sorceries? Put that on top. Well, no, I'm not doing that. Hope of Gearper, you are on my mind. I really want to get you in the list. I think we'll force a slot. Merchant Scroll. Merchant Scroll is almost viable because it goes to hand. So it does get off the top. We're going to set Merchant Scroll aside because it's not a top deck tutor. It does go to hand, so it's not like uncastable if we're storming, right? Could be valuable. Steel Enchantment. Just going to set you aside. Because why not? I need to learn how to like speak while also breathing. I'm learning that there's a skill to that. There's a proper pacing that I'm not getting down. Loyal Inventor. Do we need more tutors? Nah. Git probing. Set you aside. Zoom in purposes. Zoom. Aboleth spawn. You are on standby, waiting for Dockside to be unbanned. Should put you in an emergency case. Break glass. Gravestone, we're not doing yet. We're not doing that. Because you don't... I didn't realize that Silent Gravestone does not stop breach loops. It just doesn't. That's not how that works. Didn't know that. Cloud Key and Chief Engineer. I don't think we need Riddle. Okay. So now we're like looking at... okay, so I'll start talking out loud again. Consphinx, you're too heavy. High Fate Trickster, you're too heavy. Scroll Rack, that's an interesting thing, but we don't actually have that much in our hand very often. Fluster, we're not looking for interaction right now. Final Word, we don't need a flash right now. You'd be a cool thing for an interaction like flash package. Whenever you cast an artifact, draw. If you do, discard. I mean, so yeah, we cast an artifact, next one on the top. Yeah, that would suck if it's an artifact as well and you're discarding it, so we don't want that. Mind Break free, but doesn't protect us. Miscast. People can tend to, like, when it matters, they'll pay that 3. They find a way. Mana Drain. Feels weird to leave you behind, but yeah. Swan. I was thinking about Swan, if we needed one more, like, thing, I'd put a Swan out. Right. Artificer's Assistant. Might need ya. The Baubles. What do we think about the Baubles? What do we think about the Baubles? I don't know. Welding Jar. I really like you. And things are getting destroyed that are artifacts pretty often. Glasses, I think there's a spot for you somehow. Polywog, you can stay home. Draphna. Draphna loops. If we're going to be adding reducers, we're going to go Draphna. Moon Snare. How did you end up on the sideline? What happened there? Sorry, I'm really like not having. I'm losing my breath this morning. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Let's see. Preordain, I think, is the only thing from this page that sticks out if we're going for more top deck manipulation. Vecna is interesting, but no. Acquire too heavy. This thing, we're not doing that. If you didn't have that sack clause, Fairy Mastermind. Do. I don't think we actually need you. Semblance Anvil. Our stack's getting thick. Helm, no. Foundry. Sapphire. So, I'm thinking that, like, I'm trying to think about how to incorporate Eisen's recommendations here. And do we just, like, zoom? Let's go for the Urza Ponder. But we zoom in a different way than I had tried before. I think I see what he was saying. I think I understand. These are all a little bit heavy on this page. This is just heavy, right? Heavy, 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 heavy. Not relevant right now. Not relevant. We don't need copiers. Heavy. Don't need copiers. Don't need copiers. You can come with me. Fomori Vault. I'll take that too. Paradoxical Outcome. Maybe another payoff card could be appreciated. Inspiring Statuary. Okay, non-artifact spells you cast have improvise. So basically, if it could create blue, it'd be different. Okay. I'm not seeing anything over here. Energy Tap is interesting. I think we're going to be running enough creatures that Energy Tap could be viable again. Those 3 costs. Yeah. Okay, Karn. I don't think we need you. I don't think we need Jin. No repeal. I'm not seeing anything over here. Runaway is an interesting option for this, but no. Elixir, we don't need you right now. I don't think that graveyard looping is actually required, oddly enough. Haven't been needing it. The only thing that I really feel bad leaving behind over here is that Cycrypt. Commander's Plate is an interesting proposition, but I think for, 1 to cast, even tap, it's just too expensive to equip, bro. Felwar, nope. Vexing, no. Not seeing anything over here. You guys seen anything over here? Voltaic Key, like, once you have Urza, doesn't feel very good. Artificer class. If it permanently reduced, would be so much better. Displacer. I've been thinking a lot about Displacer. Displacer's big probs. Might take the place of like an archaic or something like that. You guys are all a little bit heavy. Yeah. Dowerport has been on my mind. Whenever one or more other creatures you control leave the battlefield without dying, draw a card. I'm thinking like flickering with Drafna loops, an ornithopter, drawing that. Like that's what comes to mind. And then Dowerport, return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. Just like another layer of like bounce Urza, so it's easier to recast the next turn and not for 6, and I get a card out of it. I've always wanted Dowerport to do cool things. Without dying, draw the card. Oof. I don't think it can justify a slot. Man, there's a lot of really good things on this page that make me think. The Everflowing Chalice, the Phyrexian Metamorph, obviously, Urza's Battlethopter, Resculpt, the Dowerport. I think the Chalice makes it, and then everything else can hang out. Curse the Swine, you've been on my mind, but we're not going to do that today, I don't think. Force a Negation, oddly enough. Like, it doesn't protect us. I want it to so bad. Copy Artifact, nah. Moonsilver. Moonsilver for Basalt. No. We tried it. Torpor Orb, you've also been on my mind. If we end up getting rid of the Drakes, we'll go Torpor Orb. You know? March, no. Mirage Mirror, you've won me games. Mirage Mirror has won me games. Just because it can copy anything. Copying Basalts or Kinnins and things feels good. Apple of Eden, Isu Relic, been waiting to pull you out of the binder. I've been playing Spell Table, and this card is just really inconvenient for that, but I think it is the right call. We need to be able to silence, pseudo-silence by taking their hand, and then use the interaction from the control player to take care of the other players while we're going off. That's really a good option for that. I really like these walkers. Ballista. Create infinite mana, play Ballista, but we already have an infinite mana outlet in the command zone. I really like this. I really like this. I really like this. Let's like, do I add that package back in? Then I add the Springleaf Drum and the Paradise Mantle, and then we're like cooking. I think we get out ahead of our skis. I think we go too fast and get blown off the map. That's what I think about that. Serum Visions. Serum Visions even fits. Hercule's Recall? All artifacts. I don't want to bring my Mystic Forge back to hand. Fibblethip has always been interesting to me. Is that another Ballista in here? Yeah, I don't need 2U. Yep. Okay. Yeah, we're going to do a binder reorg here soon. Okay, so we went through there. And now we're going to go through our deck and then find pieces that we can get rid of. And then we'll go back through what we pulled and we will slot those in and we'll try and justify it, rubber ducky style, make it coherent. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Then we'll update the list. And then we'll test it. So, deck evaluation time. Can move this aside. Don't need that. And let's break this out. So this is the list as it was played over the weekend, and we will just go through and be like, okay, swap this, let's keep that. That worked, that didn't work. Urza, do we keep this card? Yeah. Okay, we'll keep that. We'll keep that. Misty Rainforest. Codex. We're going to put you in the maybe pile. I don't know why you're in the maybe pile. You're going like you were going so hard, and that recursion's really important, but you somehow end up in the maybe pile. Fabricate. Just take your medicine, man. Like you gotta tutor. Volatile Stormdrake. You're maybe Flood Mob. It's like I want like another maybe pile. You end up in the maybe pile. Hermit goes hard. Archaic can go over there. Tormod's Crypt overperforming. Hullbreaker Horror, I've been liking that. Conflail, I've been liking that. Chromox, I've been liking that. Fierce Guardianship, doing okay. Drake, you can go in the maybe. Basalt with the Forensic. Why aren't you guys always next to each other? Jeez. Reshape, take your medicine, get your tutors in. Aether Spellbomb. I don't know why you're in the maybe pile as well. You go so hard that, I mean, ooh. But we've got good cards in there. Urza Saga prized statue. I feel like the statue really does perform. Misstep, Sink into Stupor, Gemstone. I'm liking all of these. I'm liking all of these. Yep. I even like the Seat, Inventor's Fair. Counterbalance. Interesting. I forgot that you made it back in there. But let's put you back in the maybe pile. Retraction Helix. How do we feel about our Flood Caller Basalt or our Flood Caller Batter Golem combos? I think that's almost like the heart of the deck that I don't use to its potential. Mystic Remora, you've been doing your things. Rings, so good with being able to get the Basalt Gold Pan. You know, I'm liking you banishing Max, same thing. So basically, those are the doubles of the doubles Academy runes. Being able to bring stuff back is so good. This cost reducer goes hard. Force of Will is Force of Will. Ristic Studies, Ristic Study. We got an Island Defense Grid overperforming. Lightning Greaves overperforming in this list. We need that protection for Urza. It goes hard. Aether Flux, that's our WinCon Imposter Mech. You can go back into the maybe pile because just like happened last time, I didn't have like a super great thing to copy with you. I did have like sit on you for a little bit and tried to copy a Tivit. You got countered for that. So it's like, ugh. I'm going to put Imposter Mech back in here. That's, I feel like, almost a medicine card. Rapid. I'm a big fan of this card. Soul Guide Lantern, finding that Graveyard Hate is overperforming. Ancient Tomb, you're pretty good. Grinding Station, pretty sweet. Island, Mishra's Workshop, we're going to keep you. Magus, you're kind of like why we're here, right? Valley Flood Caller, Fortune Teller's Talent, Broken, Buckleberry Furry, Mana Vault Shenanigans, and being able to cast you because you're legendary off the top of the Crystal Skull Isu Spyglass. Let's get another Ponjify that's not French. How about that? Squell, Skite, you go hard. Oh my goodness, Disruptor Flute, you go hard. Repurposing Bay, we got to take our medicine and you're castable off the top. We've got a Flooded Strand, which again is our way to adjust the top deck. These are really important. Pithing Needle, you're overperforming. Sensei's Top, you're kind of like, you know, how we win. Glaring Flesh Raker, you're a backup win condition. Reality Chip, you're kind of how we win. Jeweled Amulet, just a great card all around. Arcane Signet, Otawara. It's what do you say about Arcane Signet in this list? You kind of need it in order to get there. You know, it's a medicine card. It's a maybe card. It's a maybe card. It can be a maybe. Otawara and an Island and a Scary. Scary with this list. Maybe we could reconsider. Future Sight, I mean, yeah, we need one of you. Battered Golem. House. Chain of Vapor, you're in my maybe pile. Diversion Unit, you're in the maybe pile, but really like you. Just really like that card. The One Ring, maybe pile. Maybe you become an apple. Island, Chimil, maybe. Monolith, and War of Invention. War of Invention's been higher on my list lately. Mox Diamond. Early game, you just got to be able to power through, get out fast. Soul Ring and LED in this list goes so hard. Scalding Tarn, Crystal Skull, Isu Spyglass. We talk about that one all the time. It's the worst in class, but still good enough. Hydroelectric Specimen. Really like this card. I feel like I never actually get to use its flash ability. It just costs just a little bit too much, but maybe that's because I don't like put myself in a situation where I can be doing that. Prismatic Vista, thank you for being printed. Tezzeret, you are here to get Basalt. You're here to get Mystic Forge, Crystal Skull, Isu Spyglass. Or for whatever reason, I can't do the other one. Just get my rings if I already have the Basalt. Really just a utility card. Nurok Stealth Suit. This one's been, every single time it hits, everyone's like, what is that? What is that? And then it's super relevant. Super relevant. Misdirection. I found you were pretty effective. Sai, it's like goes pretty hard. I feel like it sucks like casting it, you know? But then once it's down, I'm always like super happy. Mind Stone. Yeah, that sack and draw card. Get stuff off at the top. Powered effect. Potent win condition. Relic, man. Yep, we're gonna keep you. Swifties. Yeah. You know what? Like the more I look at this list, I mean, do I have to justify a Mox Opal and a Mana Vault? No. But Swifties, I really think that the haste enabler going for the Flood Caller Battered Golem combos is underrated. And then also, dude, Protect Urza, you can tap and just put them right on there. Feels really good to, have a protected Urza. Dol Amroth, we have, yeah, better than an island. Manamo. Lotus Petal, just a great card. The Dalkin Archmage, we run enough that this thing goes hard. Transmute, top tier. Um, Artifact Tutor. Mystic Forge, heart of the deck. We should find a cooler one of you. Emergent Zone Flash is good, and then any MDFC that we can cast off of the top. Super valuable. So now that we have like our stack of maybes, and even with these maybes, we're really like half of them are ones I really don't want to get rid of. You can see that we have a whole lot in the would like to get in pile, and then a lot in the is super fire. So basically, we go card by card, and after we categorize these, we'll make some swaps. Okay, so Serum Visions. And we're not going to go through and justify like the categorization of each of these cards. We're just going to do the function and you can see it. So I'm not going to be super loud on the mic here for a moment while I'm doing this. Let's see. We'll make a land thing. What are you? Chrome host. You're almost like your own thing. Ponder. Where are Serum Visions? Medallion. You can go here. Yeah. It's kind of odd. Okay. Okay. Running out of places to put cards. So if they don't make sense, you're like, why are you looking at that category? What's going on here? Yeah, running out of room. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is gonna be a tough one. All right. Jeez. All right. Chimil can definitely go. The One Ring, I think that we can definitely keep in a maybe pile. Divert. Jeez, dude, this is so tough. This really is so tough. Okay, so let's look at the Fomori Vault. 3, discard a card, look at the top X a number artifact, put one of those in your hand, rest on the bottom. That's pretty cool. Later, do we think that that's better than the Sapperzan Scary? Okay, let's go Fomori Vault for Scary. Does that feel weird? Yeah. But we don't want to cast that thing off the top when it's really, required. That's happened to me before. and it didn't feel good. So first swap, Sapper's in scary, sideline, and we're going to put in a Fomori Vault. So let's go over to our Magnum Opus list and update. Scary. Remove Fomori Vault. Add. What edition do we have of the vault? I already put it in. Okay. Well, let's just guess. I think that we have... Was it a full art? I don't think it was. I think it was just a foil normal. Okay. Diversion unit. I really like you. I'm going to set you aside. Chain of Vapor. Let's swap Chain for Dramatic Reversal. Isn't it weird how this is turning out this way? Chain makes me feel bad because I cast it off the top, you know, and I feel like it always backfires. I'm removing a lot of bounce. That's not really where I want to be. But Dramatic Reversal goes so hard. Dramatic Reversal. Boop. And let's see, which one do we have? We have a... I don't know which one it is. Okay, let's continue through. Do we have something that's better than an Arcane Signet out here? Do we consider a thing like a Sapphire Medallion? How many things does Sapphire Medallion reduce in our deck? 1, 2, okay, well, 3, 4, 5, okay. Reduces the cost of about 20 things. The Sapphire Medallion does. 20% of the deck isn't enough. Arcane Signet is almost just medicine. Feels bad. Counterbalance. Is this how we want to control? I feel like I want to storm harder. Counterbalance. Take an L. For the hope of Girapur. We'll go Drafna. Drafna's only going to work right here if we add enough things around him so that, like, when I like token creators, you know, I'm gonna have to add some things in order to accentuate Drafna. So we're gonna leave him on the sideline. Okay. Counterbalance for Drafna. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna make that work. Yeah. Drafna, Founder of Latin. NAM, switch printing. Do we have a full art? We've got a full art, and we're gonna select the foil. Bop. Okay. Aether Spell Bomb. Scale of 1 to 10. How hard do you go? Like, pretty close to 10. Drake. Archaic. Other Drake. Codex. Flood Maw. Kitten. Defiler costs 5, bro. We're getting deep. Okay. I really like the idea of Displacer and Chrome Host in this situation. Um, um, does this warrant a World Walker Helm? If you create one or more artifact tokens, create those tokens plus an additional map token. What are our token creators? Chrome Host. They have to be artifacts though. So yeah. Um, I don't think World Walker makes it. One Ring, Diversion Unit, and Drafna are currently chilling. I think Diversion Unit makes it. I think Drafna makes it. So let's just pop those in there. The One Ring. I think Apple goes instead of One Ring. Or perhaps in addition to. I don't know if I like Apple in this build. Apple or One Ring. I've heard from other people that are storming off that they don't actually enjoy those a whole lot. I don't think we're going to run Apple or One Ring. If we're taking out the Drakes, Torpor Orb looks dope. Does it nombo with some of our stuff? It kind of does, but it's so potent against a lot of, I mean, Thoracle, you know? Um, mm, okay. And we also got Chimil up here. So we really do have a lot of open space right now. I think we're... Man, yeah, Torpor Orb is really like... really making me think. But I think we're going to go with our own zoomies, you know? Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we get 5, 6 more. Mm. Mm. Okay. Hope? It doesn't necessarily do anything that turn when I'm storming. Turn when I am storming, you know? So, paradoxical outcome. Mirage, Revoker. Hmm. We'll go Hope Agiriper. Assistant, Cloud Key, Inspector, Chrome Host, Displacer. All of those sound dope. Drake, Archaic, Drake, Codex, One Ring, Chimil. The only big loss there, I'm like, One Ring. Feels bad to lose One Ring. Overall, CMC goes down, which is kind of cool. Let's make those swaps. I like that. I think that follows Eisen's advice. I think that updates our game plan. We've got our top deck stuff. We've got our reducers. We've got our producers. We've got a silence effect. We're getting rid of a Codex Shredder that doesn't really do a lot for us, a couple of Drakes which don't storm, and other people can deal with stuff too. We got an Archaic that seems to get blasted off the board and people can pay for, and a Chimil that's just a little bit heavy. We already made a couple of swaps over there with the land and then draft and a counterbalance. Yeah, I think that that's going to make this thing kind of mean. Doesn't change overall artifact count. We've got 1, 2, 3 going out, 1, 2, 3 going in. And then 1, 2, 3 creatures, 1, 2, 3 creatures. So it's actually kind of swap for swap in a lot of aspects. Let's make these swaps. Let's do it. Chimil, take a back seat. Hope Giriper, welcome. Did I lower my overall interaction package with this? Yeah, I did. What did I just swap out? Chimil. And what did I just put in? Because I'm looking at the Artificer's Assistant. Ugh. Oh my goodness, I got distracted. Okay. Jeez, that's frustrating. Okay. We put in Hope Giriper. That's what just got slotted in. Boom. Hope Giriper. And what version were you? I probably should have looked, but I didn't. The One Ring. Let's take you right out. Oh, that's why. Because you're over here. Switch printing. I don't know what printing you are. Oh, you must be this one because then you're not. Yeah, okay. The One Ring. You are gonna go away because yeah, we're getting rid of you. Artificer's Assistant, which I think I already put in. I did. Yup. Codex. Yeah. Feels weird to get rid of you. Cloud Key. I think that's one of the Brothers of War ones. I think it's that guy. Stormbreak. Yup. Remove. And Foundry Inspector. Welcome back. Good to see you. These are really good cards that are getting swapped out, but we're here for our game plan. A bit more focus. Archaic. For a Chrome host. Yeah, basically every creature right now is like a generator of some kind, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Chrome host. Seed Shark. Man, they really did just like start printing a whole bunch of good stuff for Urza, didn't they? Yeah, it was time, I guess. And a displacer kitten. We're going to pop that in there. For Gilded Drake. And I think that pretty much wraps up our video today. Um, let's just go over the list quickly. Make sure that we didn't like just absolutely mess this thing up. Okay. So overall, let's take a look at our package here. Displacer kitten, thank you. I think you're going to be really good. Okay. Let's take these. And we're going to have to pop them back in the binder. It's kind of annoying. But it's part of what we do. Let's look at our list on the screen, because that's easier to get an idea of what we're looking at. Okay, so we got Urza, Tezzeret, that's good. The Artificer's Assistant, I think that thing's going to go really hard. How many total artifacts do we have in the creature section? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, did I lose count? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 of those are artifacts, and we've got 34 artifacts. So we're running 41 artifacts. That's still at our 40 threshold. We need 40% in order to justify running all of our producers and reducers and the Dalkin Archmages and Artificer's Assistants. Like, we need that 40% threshold of artifacts in order to actually make this thing run. We got the Dirty Dozen in the instant category: Banishing Knack, Flood Mob, Mental Misstep, Pontify Rapid, Retraction, Helix, Dramatic Reversal, Fierce, Sink into Stupor, War of Invention, Force of Will, Misdirection. I think we're in good shape there. The Dirty Dozen. Reshape, Transmute, Fabricate in our sorcery section with the Seagate MDFC. So we're looking good in the tutor category. Still at 26 lands. Academy Ruins looking really good. Ancient Tomb, Buckleberry, Dol Amroth, Emergent Zone. That Femoid Vault, I think, is going to do us well. Gets that top deck maneuver moving. We're not really choked on the blue too often. Mishra's Workshop still makes sense. We have some payoff cards for it. Artifacts feature site, Ristic, Power Artifact, Mystic, Fortune Teller. Feels weird, no counterbalance. We dropped a lot of interaction with this package, but I think it gets us there quicker. The biggest artifacts that we have are now those 4-cost ones. So Mystic Forge, Crystal, Skull Issue, Spyglass. We've got the Aetherflux Rings, Repurpose Bay, Cloud Key, Basalt. Okay, yeah. Swifty, Statue, Nurok, Mindstone, some Greaves. Yeah, all of this stuff is zooming. We still have our silencing spells. We even added the Girapur. So we're really going to be dependent on this Conflail defense grid thing, or just really finding a gap, flashing in. 20 creatures, creature-based Urza here. I like it. Let me know what you think in the updates, or about the updates. I think it looks pretty mean. I'm looking forward to trying out this version. How many total swaps did we make? We probably could have kept track, but overall, I think it meshes a little bit together. Every time I cast something, there's some nasty things happening. My game plan just got a lot more scary. My ability to interact with other people's game plan got a little bit worse. We lost the One Ring, but I don't think that that's a huge problem because it didn't storm well anyway. Like, we're using our top deck casters, guys. That's how we get our cards. Yeah, spending 4 to draw 1, it feels bad to hit it. I think it's pretty balanced, man. Like, it's got just enough interaction to be present, just enough, um, it has the bare minimum in every category, which is basically where you want to be, you know. Um, yeah, man, it's looking so schnasty. When you go through, you're like, it's not a bad hand to draw. Yeah, I'm liking it. At this point, you're not really getting any information. I'm just checking for mistakes. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I just didn't see that. There's a reason why I don't play this card. There's a reason why we don't do these things. Yeah, looking good. For Vault, looking forward to what you do. We seeing any issues, guys? We seeing any problems? Dramatic reversal. I'd like to see you back. Yeah, a lot more producers reducers. I think that was good advice. I think it'll grind a little bit harder now. You know, and I think that I think we're gonna win some games. Okay, I'm gonna end the video here. That was a lot. Yeah, we went 0-4. We're not gonna do that again. And see you next time. Cool.